What's going on, Dolphins fans? It's Connor from the Dolphins Dive, and today's preview day, we're going to break down Miami Dolphins versus Detroit Lions this Sunday. Before I get into the video, I'm going to do two quick plugs. My merch shop, thedolphinsdive.com, where you can get Mike McDaniel McLovin shirts, mugs, sweatshirts. We have two Javon Holland, Jalen Waddle designs as well. Check it out. It would mean a lot to me. And then I'm also running a giveaway on one of the merch pieces on my Twitter. You can see it above my head right here at Conflict TD. So check it out, retweet, and you enter a chance to win a t-shirt by Sunday kickoff. So feel free to check it out. And without further ado, I'm going to hop right into the video. So you know how we do it. Dolphins offense versus Lions defense. So the Dolphins, in terms of points per game, which is something they struggle with, is 19th in the league. But the Lions are a whopping 32nd in the league in points allowed. So this is a game where we want to see the offense click on all cylinders. Run game, pass game, we don't want to see miscues anymore, because there's been a couple. We want to, this is a game that springboard us into finally lock in the things that have not been locked in against the defense that is not very good. Passing yards per game, the Dolphins are 3rd in the league. The Lions are 22nd in passing yards allowed. Rushing yards per game, the Dolphins are a miserable 29th in the league, but the Lions are even worse in 31st ranked run defense, and that's a point we should try and exploit, because our run game has been putrid. If we want to win games in December and January, got to get the run game going, and that's the first key of the game, is to establish the run. 31st ranked run defense. We have not had much success running the ball, but like I said, we want to be able to establish it. The scheme is predicated on the run game. Now, obviously, we haven't had the run game, and analytics show it as well, that you don't need to technically have success running the ball for the play action pass to work, and that's primarily been where our success has come from. But can you imagine the difficulty as a defense? It's already difficult enough trying to stop Waddle and Tyreek. I mean, teams have not been able to do it. But mix in a strong run game with that as well. There's not many teams that are going to be able to stop you. It's damn near impossible. And right on track with that, the second key of the offensive game is to feed Waddle and Tyreek. That's our game plan every week. I mean, they're two of the most dynamic football players in the entire planet. They can't be guarded one-on-one. They're faster than everybody on the field. They're just absurd. Feed them, feed them, feed them. But establish the rock first, then feed them. It should be interesting to see. I think McDaniel's going to be emphasizing trying to run the ball, seeing how weak they are. And we'll see. Hopefully a little bit more Raheem Mostert. I'm sure everyone's seen the Twitter clip of I was very judgmental of that 4th down play call. Obviously, we should have just taken points, gone up 2 possessions. But then the play call itself was like, why the fuck are we running the ball? But then you see it back, and Chase Edmonds runs into the back of the offensive line instead of going outside where the scheme is predicated on, and probably would have been a touchdown. So hopefully we see some Mostert action, hopefully 100-plus rushing yard game. It'd be good for this offense. And the last point of the game is something we've also struggled with, is to get 7, not 3. Every time in the red zone, we seem to get stopped. I mean, we're 19th in points per game, but our yards per game are top in the league, like top 10 at least. So we want to see that go up and turn the 3s into 7s. So that's the biggest thing as well. And this is a trap game. I think if you look at our schedule, the next 4 games, you'd think the Dolphins should win all of them. And on paper, yes, they should win all of them. But these are some good teams. Especially the Lions. They have a phenomenal offense. Their defense is meh, but it's going to improve. They're going to play their tails off. So you get caught lacking, you're going to lose to. I'm genuinely concerned. Like I said, the Dolphins should win the next 4 games. Will they? Hopefully. But I have a feeling that they're probably going to drop. It's the NFL. Every team can win on a Sunday. So I have a feeling they might drop one of these games, and I feel like the Lions could be that team. So defensive players to watch for the Lions. Obviously, there's not many. You heard the numbers. There's not many. There's not much success going on there. But the players to watch that I'm highlighting: Deshaun Elliott, their free safety. He's made a couple plays on the ball, back deep in the defense. He's one of their better defensive players. Formerly a Raven. Jeff Okudah, the former first-round pick, the same year as Tua came out. He's starting to improve. He's not good enough to not throw to him, especially with our receivers. But he's a very solid corner, and he's played very well this season. Last but not least, Hutchinson, obviously, he hasn't had tremendous success so far in this league, but he still wins from time to time. And especially he's going to be going up against, I mean, I don't know, I haven't watched enough Lions film to know if he stays on one side. But if he's moving around, which I'm assuming they are doing, he's going to be facing some backup right tackle. So Hutchinson can win from time to time. So he's also another guy you got to watch out for, not let him ruin the game. Also, former Dolphin Charles Harris is also on that defensive line. He had a great season last year. I don't think as much so this year, but he's still a good player. Former Dolphin legend pick. So that's it for the Dolphins offense. Now we're going to go to the Dolphins defense versus the Lions offense. So the Lions in points per game are 9th in the league, but it's a little misleading. They've had a bye week, and their first, I believe, 4 games were tremendous, and their past 2 games, I think they've scored a total of 6 points. So they are regressing. With that said, they faced 2 good defenses that I'm aware. I know they faced the Patriots, which are a good defense. I got to see who they played last week. But yeah, they've definitely gone down the shitter as of late. So they scored 6 points against the Cowboys, who also have a very good defense. And I like the Dolphins defense, but with these injuries, we are not on the level of those 2 teams as of right now. And like I said, the Lions have a lot of offensive firepower. They have DeAndre Swift coming back. They did lose DJ Chark, but they've got weapons. So, and they have a very good offensive line. So this offense is nothing to snuff at. They're going to put up points. I just hope that our offense is able to outscore their offense. That's honestly what this game comes down to. So they're 9th in points per game. The Dolphins are 23rd in points allowed. Passing yards per game, they're 9th. The Dolphins are 24th in terms of defense. Rushing yards per game, they're 7th in the league, and the Dolphins have the 8th best rushing defense or run-stopping defense. So the first key of the game, stop the run. DeAndre Swift's back. They got Jamal Williams. Those are 2 phenomenal backs. Jamal Williams is one of my favorite players in all of the league. If you see any of his post-game interviews or anything, dude's hilarious. You watch him on Hard Knocks as well. All class. He's a great player as well. But yeah, DeAndre Swift is a problem in the running game, the passing game, all over the field. He is dangerous, and he's back. And they're going to try and feed him. Like I said, 7th in rushing yards per game. That's what they want to do. And the Dolphins overall have a good rush defense. Like we saw last week, Najee didn't really do anything. But we'll stop, run, and then it's a big run. You know what I'm saying? So there are instances where our run defense isn't as strong, but for the most part, we have a strong run defense. So if we can make them one-dimensional, force them to pass, it'd be beneficial for us. And I'm pretty sure the Lions also run a Shanahan-style system with the wide zone and everything. So you got to stop the run if you want to have more success on defense. Number 2, we played Jared Goff back in 2020, and something we did was pressure the shit out of him. You want to follow suit with that and make Jared Goff uncomfortable. Force the ball out of his hands quick. Force him to make a quick read. If you remember in that Rams-Dolphins game, he threw a pick to Christian Wilkins. So you want to see us do something similar in terms of just sending pressure, disguising looks, making him uncomfortable, and just pressuring him. So that'd be the second key of the game for the defense, is to make Jared Goff uncomfortable. And the third take of the game, I said this prior to the Vikings game. It didn't happen. And then I didn't say it, I don't think, before the Steelers game, and it did happen. But it's mix up your man in zone coverage. The Dolphins are single high safety defense, heavily man-to-man predicated. I think we were about, heading into the Steelers game, we were about like 50% man team, which is like top 3 in the league. And we're still up there. But the game plan against the Steelers was clearly mixing up zone coverages, make Kenny Pickett read the defense. And I also obviously think that has to do with our defensive backs being so banged up, with Byron Jones still out, Xavier Howard having a groin injury, Kader Kohu out, Nick Needham out, Keon Crossan out. It's like they want to. It's easier for a DB to play zone than it is 2-man. So they did that against the Steelers and had great success. Although it's weird because as Dolphins fans, we're expecting as soon as the player catches the ball, there's a defender right there because they're in man coverage. But they're like catching the balls in soft spots of zone, and it felt like we were like getting dink and dunked, but then we would force a punt. So like it didn't matter. But in the time, it's like it is frustrating, but it's also frustrating to the offense when you take away the big plays and you force them to throw short, quick passes and not get much gains from them. So we went from playing man coverage 63% versus the Vikings to 30% versus the Steelers. I'm hoping we see something similar against the Lions. Although they do lack offensive weapons, they have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's a stud. But in terms of that, they lost DJ Chark. They have Josh Reynolds, who's a good player. But the Dolphins might be more comfortable. Put X on Amon-Ra and then play man coverage everywhere else and hope your guys are better than theirs. And that might be the case. So maybe this key of the game isn't as valuable as I'd once thought. But also, like I said, mix it up. Don't just run man. Don't just run zone. Mix it up. Keep Goff guessing and pressure him. Offensive players to watch. Like I just highlighted, they got some dogs on offense. DeAndre Swift is back, fast. He breaks tackles. He forces missed tackles. Run game, pass games all over the field. I'm sure if you play fantasy football, you know how good he is. Jamal Williams as well. He's more of the third down pass blocking guy, also a goal line guy, which is funny because I don't think he's that big of a dude, but he's a dog. Amon-Ra St. Brown, as I mentioned him previously, he's an absolute stud. One of the better younger receivers in all of football, but we have Xavier Howard. So however they choose to cover Amon-Ra, I'm sure we'll probably try to limit his impact on the game. TJ Hawkinson, one of the best tight ends in all of football. And the thing is football fans are so predicated on the offensive production from tight ends and like, oh, he caught this many passes. And Hawkinson's a great receiver, but thing is, he's an even better blocker, and that's what the Dolphins are missing in our offense. I would love a player like TJ Hawkinson on the Dolphins. Obviously, there's no way he's obtainable, but if we get a player like TJ Hawkinson on the Dolphins in the future, the offense is going to take that next level, especially in the run game. And I just want to highlight how good of a player TJ Hawkinson is. Not to mention acquiring players. There's going to be a video on the trade deadline up, I think, Monday. I think the deadline's Tuesday, so I hope I'm not too late on that video. Just very busy recently. And last but not least, players to watch, their entire offensive line. They got some dogs. Now, I think they have an injury or two, so they're not as strong, but their center's a stud. They got Penny Sewell. Taylor Decker as well, I believe, is still there. Is he still there? Let me make sure I'm not acting stupid. Taylor Decker is still on the line. So, yeah, they've got a very strong offensive line. So, hopefully our pass rush can still get after them, but it's probably going to be more blitz-predicated pressure because they have a strong offensive line. But hopefully we see Jalen Phillips tee off a little bit. So that's it for the preview. Now for the prediction, like I said, this is a scary game for the Dolphins because the Lions come to play every single week, and they have a very good offense. I'm gonna take the Dolphins for the sake of taking the Dolphins. The Dolphins are 4-3 on the year. I'm 5-2 on my predictions, so pretty good. I'm gonna take the Dolphins to win 38 to 27. All right, Dolphins win 38-27. You heard it here first. Comment down below your predictions. Appreciate anybody for watching. It means a ton to me. Please like and subscribe. It helps the channel grow immensely. And until next time, I'll catch y'all.